We are kicking off today with Seth Rollins, who was recently written off TV with an attack by Bronson Reed due to chronic issues that Seth has requested time off to fully recover from. WWE has announced that Rollins will be out indefinitely, leading fans to speculate as to when they'll next see him in the ring after this latest setback. The long-anticipated feud between CM Punk and Seth Rollins began to take shape at SummerSlam, where Rollins taunted Punk during his match against Drew McIntyre, leading to a heated confrontation between the two. The seeds for this rivalry were planted as far back as Survivor Series 2023, when Rollins was restrained by WWE officials as Punk made his return, sparking widespread speculation that a feud was imminent. However, according to a report by PW Insider, WWE may not kick off a Rollins-Punk program until 2025, and for the time being, the focus is on Punk vs. McIntyre, which will continue through Bash in Berlin. It's possible that this feud will go even further than that, and WWE sources suggest that a Rollins-Punk storyline could be delayed as part of WWE's new regime's focus on long-term planning. While fans may be disappointed by the potential delay, there is a silver lining, as this extended build-up could result in an even more explosive and memorable feud when it finally unfolds. In fact, it's been reported that Seth's hiatus from the ring will see him miss some important events, and his return will not take place before 2025. As the adage goes, good things come to those who wait, and do you think waiting until 2025 is the best decision for the Punk-Rollins feud? Share your thoughts in the comments section. The unfortunate worry is that CM Punk could get injured along the way again, as his body is obviously getting older and isn't what it used to be, resulting in injury issues in WWE and AEW. It should therefore be no surprise that the former WWE champion took to his Instagram story and uploaded a photo from Ways to Well, where he underwent stem cell therapy. What's your view on CM Punk getting stem cell therapy recently? Do you believe it'll help him tremendously like how it worked for Rey Mysterio? Sound off in the comments section below. The last time WWE fans saw Brock Lesnar was at SummerSlam, and though we don't know when, if ever, he'll return, the Beast has resurfaced on social media. In a photo shared online, Lesnar can be seen posing with two fans in his signature cowboy hat and slightly different facial hair from what we've seen in recent years. WWE CCO Triple H has indicated that he is open to bringing Lesnar back to WWE, but legal challenges, namely the Janelle Grant lawsuit, currently stand in the way. We'll have to wait and see if Brock Lesnar does get that clearance and himself chooses to return to the company after a prolonged hiatus. What are your thoughts on Brock Lesnar's latest photo? Do you think he should return to WWE in the future? Sound off in the comments. Over to AEW Dynamite, and a top star seemingly turned heel mere 10 days before Allin 2024, and the star in question is none other than AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland. On the show, Strickland faced Wheeler Yuta, a BCC ally of Bryan Danielson, in non-title action, with the new flavor laying out the challenge last week. Strickland even invited Danielson to be at ringside for his match with Yuta, and despite an intense performance against Swerve, it was Strickland who got the win. Swerve won the match via referee decision after multiple house calls and repeated boots and strikes to Yuta, who was left unable to defend himself. Danielson, who watched the match from ringside, rushed into the ring after the bout, preventing Strickland from continuing his attack on his protege, but Swerve wasn't done yet. On the mic, the AEW World Champion warned Bryan he intends to mutilate, retire, and cripple the American Dragon in front of his daughter at Wembley Stadium later this month. Swerve later snuck up behind the 43-year-old legend as he was checking on Yuta and delivered a house call to Danielson, ending Dynamite on a shocking and somber note. The show closed with a shot of Strickland mockingly performing Bryan's signature yes chants, possibly turning heel, and the advantage is with the AEW World Champion. We'll have to see if Bryan wins the AEW World title from Strickland, or if he'll wrestle his last match at Wembley, but all we know for sure is that nothing will be the same after All In. What do you make of this? Do you believe Strickland seemingly turning heel was the right call? Share your take on things down in the comments. Darby Allin and Jack Perry are locked in a fierce feud, and Allin's promo on Dynamite intensified their already heated conflict. Darby Allin pointed out all the mischief Jack Perry was up to last year, mainly at All In, where he had the backstage altercation with CM Punk that led to his suspension. Allin also claimed that nobody would miss him if the former Jungle Boy got fired, and questioned whether he added anything to the company. The brawl then continued backstage, and this is where things quickly got ugly. After a minor comeback by Darby Allin, Perry gained the upper hand by banging Allin on the head with a trash can. That appeared to be the decisive blow, as that enabled the scapegoat to put Allin under the pressure of a lowering garage-type door, which then prompted security to intervene. Jack Perry then revealed that he wanted their match at All In to be a coffin match. That adds another layer of intrigue and drama to an already bitter and heated rivalry. It'll be interesting to see who comes out on top at AEW's biggest show of the year in a few weeks, and do you like the sounds of a coffin match? Share your thoughts down below. In 2022, Edge and Damian Priest formed the Judgment Day, but within a matter of months, the Rated R superstar was booted from the faction and replaced with Finn Balor. Speaking to Sports Illustrated, Priest recalled Edge's exit from the faction, which he learned from the Hall of Famer after a TV taping. Priest was devastated by the news and felt like plans for the Judgment Day had gone up in smoke, and shared that Rhea Ripley was even more upset upon learning the news. When Edge left the group, Priest felt that the faction's days were uncertain, and that was a sentiment shared by the Rated R superstar himself. Priest said, "Edge was mad too. I still speak with him. He was one of our biggest backers. When he told me, I remember him saying, 'All of this for nothing,' and I repeated that, 'for nothing.' That's the way it felt at the time. I was waiting for the phone call to get released. Obviously, it worked out a lot differently." Thankfully for Priest, the Judgment Day that many predicted would fizzle out has become one of WWE's top factions and remains a key part of WWE TV over 2 years after forming. But what's your view on what Damian Priest had to say about Edge's exit from the Judgment Day? Do you feel everything worked out for the best? Sound off in the comments section below. At SummerSlam, the Judgment Day as we knew it imploded as both Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley were betrayed by Finn Balor and Dirty Dominik Mysterio. On Instagram Live, Ripley was asked if she truly hates Dominik for what he did to her, and admitted that she doesn't quite know whether hate is the right word. While she is certainly angry, Ripley expressed her pride in how much Dom grew as a performer with her, but with that said, getting revenge on her treacherous ex is still her plan. She said, "Do I hate Dom? It's a tough question to ask. I don't think I fully hate him. Obviously he pissed me off, but I don't think I can ever properly hate him because legit the last couple of years going to work has been so easy and pleasurable. It's been amazing. Watching him grow to the man he became. He's not that anymore. He became a man who was doing well for himself. He had that anger and heat behind him when he went out there. He actually stood a chance against people. Now it's a little bit different, but I don't actually hate him. I'm still proud of him, which sucks. I don't think I'm ever not going to be proud of him unless he keeps going on this decline that he's on. The last couple of years we've done too much together. We've done way more than go to Raw. We've been to Australia, traveled together. He's just really f***ed me up and broke my heart, and now I'm gonna break every single limb in his body. Seems fair." Ripley and Priest, aka the Terror Twins, will have their chance for revenge at Bash in Berlin, when they face Mysterio and Liv Morgan inside the Uber Arena on August 31st. What's your view on what Rhea Ripley had to say? Do you feel she'll destroy Dominik Mysterio at WWE's first German PLE? Sound off in the comments section below. Now, WWE often revamps a superstar's entrance music to refresh the character, and Roman Reigns is no exception, and his Succession-inspired theme offers a fresh arrangement. While his new theme isn't drastically different from his pre-WrestleMania 40 track, it marks a change, and now WWE has released the new theme dubbed "I Am Greatness." Fans quickly embraced the release, and the video is being widely shared, and now fans can enjoy a clear version of the track the original Tribal Chief is using in WWE. What's your take on Roman Reigns' new WWE entrance music? Do you think that this song is an improvement for the head of the table? Let us know what you think in the comments section. It was last month that Tony Khan and Shane McMahon had a meeting, which has led fans and those in the industry alike pondering as to whether Shane is joining AEW. Speaking to Wrestle Talk, MJF was asked about the meeting in question and shared his thoughts about how McMahon could be a valuable asset to AEW. He said, "If he wants to come in, I genuinely think he's a megastar. I think that'd be freaking great. It'd be huge for the fans, and it'd be huge for AEW. While AEW could soon be home to Shane McMahon, CM Punk's time with the company is a distant memory, though he and MJF feuded before the Best in the World's 2023 firing. In the interview, MJF was confident he'd have beaten Punk if they had fought again, especially since he had already beaten Punk twice in the latter's native Chicago. With that said, MJF said it didn't make sense to beat Punk if there was no world title at stake, and if Punk were still with AEW, he'd have waited until Punk was the world champion. This world title talk brought MJF onto Swerve Strickland, and he said that Swerve's match with Bryan Danielson could be a huge deal and possibly mark Danielson's retirement. MJF believes that if Danielson wins, it'll make Strickland weaker and give MJF a better chance to challenge for the world title he lost back in December 2023. That may be easier said than done, as MJF has also mentioned that he's dealing with a shoulder injury, and that could play into his All-In match with Will Ospreay in Wembley. During the interview, MJF was also asked whether he had any discussions with WWE ahead of the supposed bidding war, and said he couldn't answer for legal reasons, stating, "I can't answer that for legal reasons, because if I did have conversations with WWE, that would be considered, contract tampering." We now know that MJF will be staying with AEW for the long term, and a tattoo the scumbag revealed at Double or Nothing demonstrates his commitment to the All Elite brand. What do you think of what MJF had to say about Shane McMahon joining AEW? Do you want McMahon to be a part of the AEW family? Sound off in the comments section below. Earlier this month, Tony Khan claimed that some of the biggest announcements in AEW history were on the horizon, leaving fans to speculate what the company president has in store. With All In taking place in Wembley Stadium in just a few weeks, AEW might have the opportunity to reveal a couple of significant deals, including an update in their TV deal. Tony Khan recently met with WBD's David Zaslav in Paris during the Olympics and later said their conversation was productive and went well, in a promising sign for AEW's future. Securing a new TV deal will be essential for AEW to continue thriving as a pro wrestling company, but we should point out that Khan made reference to multiple announcements. In addition to rumors of a new TV deal being announced, rumors strongly suggest that another announcement will be the arrival of Shane McMahon, who will be associated with AEW. Whatever the announcements are, we hope Khan can live up to expectations, as several hyped-up announcements have fallen flat in the past. What's your take on AEW's announcements? Are they as impressive at this point, or has Tony Khan's hype lost its luster? Let us know what you think in the comments section. Since returning to WWE, CM Punk has been a regular on TV, but this week, he took a break from beefing with Drew McIntyre to make a surprise appearance at a Rancid concert in Chicago. Punk appeared on stage with the band and posed with Tim Armstrong, as you never know what the best in the world is going to do in or out of the ring. Logan Paul recently found himself at the center of a heated controversy following his remarks about a boxing match at the Paris 2024 Olympics. The match in question saw Algeria's Zemaine Khalif secure a quick victory after Italy's Angela Carini withdrew just 46 seconds in, a result that has fueled speculation and debate. Khalif's past disqualification from the 2023 World Championships over gender eligibility concerns has only added to the controversy. Logan Paul did not hold back in his reaction, labeling the situation as the purest form of evil and alleging that a biological man had been allowed to compete against a woman, a statement that has since been widely criticized and debunked. Despite being corrected that Khalif is not transgender, Paul continued to assert his belief that men should not compete against women, sparking significant backlash and accusations of spreading misinformation. Adding to the controversy, Variety reported that J.K. Rowling and Elon Musk have been named in a criminal complaint filed with French authorities, accusing them of aggravated cyber harassment against Khalif. The complaint, submitted to the Paris Public Prosecutor's Anti-Online Hatred Center, could potentially see Paul dragged into the legal proceedings. Nabil Boudi, Khalif's Paris-based attorney, indicated that Paul could become involved in the lawsuit if Khalif chooses to pursue legal action against him. The lawsuit is filed and the facts remain, Boudi stated. WWE has reportedly not supported Logan Paul's controversial remarks, and Triple H was quite unhappy with his comments. Triple H and WWE's legal team expects their wrestlers to be politically correct and maintain a certain level of diplomacy in public platforms. WWE's PR and legal team are expected to jump in this situation if it escalates further. What's your take on this whole situation? Sound off in the comments below. More from AEW Dynamite now, as a backstage segment with Kazuchika Okada and Claudio Castagnoli was followed by an interview with the Patriarchy. After that, Tony Schiavone interviewed Hook, who called out Chris Jericho for an FTW title match despite being unable to see out of his left eye. Jericho offered him a shot at All In, which Hook accepted, but it was revealed that Hook will never challenge for the FTW title again should he lose to Jericho. Jericho added that before their match, Hook will face Big Bill next week at Dynamite in Cardiff, and how do you think the title match should go? Should Hook regain the gold? Sound off below. With the AEW World Tag titles on the line, the Young Bucks faced the Acclaimed, who wasted no time in ambushing the Bucks during their entrance, meaning we didn't get a Max Caster rap. This surprise attack allowed the challengers to take control early, but the Bucks regained momentum with drop kicks through the ropes, followed by splashes to the outside. The action continued through a commercial break as the teams brawled in picture-in-picture mode, during which the Bucks slowed the pace of the match and taunted the crowd. Billy Gunn showed up to lend some support but was ejected from ringside after being caught with a chair, a situation orchestrated by the Bucks. A miscommunication led to Matt Jackson kicking Nick, giving Max Caster the opening to make the hot tag to Anthony Bowens, and amid the chaos, the referee was taken out. With no official, Nick hit Caster with a low blow and was going to use a title as a weapon if not for FTR, but Dax Harwood's attack on Nick would cause a disqualification. The outcome didn't sit well with the fans or the Acclaimed, who confronted FTR over the finish, leading to security rushing in to separate the teams while the Bucks celebrated. Interim AEW EVP Christopher Daniels showed up to share that the Acclaimed and FTR will face off on Collision, and the winners will face the Young Bucks for the titles at All In. It remains to be seen if this finally resolves this chaotic situation, and what's your thoughts on AEW's booking? Let us know in the comments section below. A high-stakes three-way match featuring Kyle O'Reilly, Orange Cassidy, and Roderick Strong took place on Dynamite, with the winner earning the #1 spot in All In's Casino Gauntlet. Securing the #1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet is a significant advantage, as the match could end at any moment, guaranteeing the star extra screen time during AEW All In. With that in mind, all three brought their A game, as Cassidy's stamina and agility was met with O'Reilly's strikes and submissions, and Strong's power and maneuverability. Mike Bennett and Matt Taven showed up to aid Strong, but they were chased off by Tomohiro Ishii and Mark Briscoe of the conglomeration group Orange Cassidy is in. After a hard-hitting back-and-forth action, the freshly squeezed star picked up the win over Strong and O'Reilly after pinning the Violent Artist with a crucifix pin. The contest was hard-fought, and we now know who will kick off the action in Wembley Stadium. But who do you think should win the Casino Gauntlet match at AEW All In? Pac was visibly frustrated that Will Ospreay got a match for the American title sanctioned for All In, despite Pac earning the opportunity a few weeks ago. The Brit wasn't happy at all that he'd been leapfrogged by Ospreay, but had some revenge in mind, as he'll get his title opportunity 2 weeks after All In at AEW All Out. The winner of the MJF Ospreay showdown will face him for the American title at All Out in Chicago, and Pac is hell-bent on regaining what he believes is his. Who do you think should face Pac at AEW All Out? Will it be MJF or Will Ospreay following their match at AEW All In? Sound off in the comments. Adam Page got into yet another backstage fight during Dynamite mere days after his last one, and on this week's show was due to face Jay Lethal. Lethal wanted payback for himself and Jeff Jarrett after the pair were blindsided by Page last week as Dynamite went off the air, and the pair were interviewed by Renee Paquette this week. During this interview, Page emerged once more to attack Jeff Jarrett and then went after Lethal, dragging him into the arena with a single camera shot. Page wanted to dish out some punishment to his opponent before their match officially began, but once Lethal came to his senses, he was able to put on quite a show. Lethal opened the match with 5 dives to the outside, but that early momentum wouldn't last, and Page got the win with the buckshot lariat. On last week's Collision, Hikaru Shida claimed that despite not having the best run recently, she held the record for the most world title wins and is the longest reigning world champion in AEW history. With that in mind, Shida challenged Mercedes Moné to a TBS title match, and on Dynamite, the two women faced off in their first bout against one another. Shida seemed to have an answer for everything Moné had in mind, and even the presence of Camille was met with Shida using a kendo stick to send the brick house away from the match. Moné took advantage of the situation to grab the kendo stick and distract the referee momentarily, which allowed Camille to hit a big boot on Shida, giving Moné the advantage. The ex-superstar hit her moneymaker to successfully retain the title, but after the match, Britt Baker made her in-person return following her recent suspension. Baker managed to fool Camille and have her distracted, while she herself came to the ring through the live crowd and got close to applying the lockjaw on the TBS champion. Moné was saved by Camille, but Baker held the TBS title that had been left in the ring and hoisted it high to send a message to Moné ahead of their match in Wembley Stadium. And we're ending with some unfortunate news regarding Billy Starks, who was supposed to compete in the annual Vacation Land Cup tournament for Maine's Limitless Wrestling this Saturday. That won't be happening, the promotion announced this week, and Stark's absence has been put down due to an injury, though details around the injury remain unclear. It's assumed the injury happened sometime after August 7th, the date when her participation in the tournament was first announced, and a source said AEW made the call to pull Starks. Starks could be out of action for several weeks as she undergoes evaluation, and we're wishing her the absolute best on her recovery.